All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom. There's GMS precepts, and there's our chud here. And I got a few articles here, right? And they're all centered around war, right? This is from The Guardian, right? And we got the Bilderberg meeting, the secret Bilderberg meeting coming up, right? Let me read this. The title says War, AI, and More War. All right, so this is the time that we're living in. We're living in a time of war. You know, Ecclesiastes, the third chapter, says that. Okay, for every time in heaven, let me get it. I'm bad at. Let me see. Let me just get it before I butcher the verse. Ecclesiastes, the third chapter, real quick, and I'll go right back to the article. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay, and if you jump down to verse, I believe it's 8, right? It says a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Okay, right now we're in a time of war, right? We're not in a time of peace. All right, despite what you might hear on the news, which now you don't really hear about any time of peace. You might hear of a ceasefire, for a few days, but that doesn't even happen. They talk about a ceasefire, but there's never a ceasefire. It might be for a day or two, and then war kicks off again. You know, so I mean, it's not even an argument what time that we're living in right now. We're living in a time of war, and Lord willing, I'll prove it through these scriptures. All right. Back to the article. It says war, AI, and more war. Right. The 2024 Bilderberg agenda is sure to set off alarm bells. Right. So this is proof right here. Right. This is what's the main topic at the Bilderberg meeting. War. How we can use AI to our advantage in war. All right. The secretive, and it's not only the West, right? It's not only NATO and the West, right? Because that's what these leaders consist of. It's not only the NATO or whatever, or the West nations using this technology as for war. Other nations are too, right? I think I did a show on North Korea, China, Russia. They're all using AI to aid them in war, right? They got robot dogs. They got drones with weapons attached on them. Those flying drones. Hell, they use drones now to drop bombs on people. That's AI. Okay. So it says the secret annual summit has tried to counter its arcane reputation, but its guest list still reads like a conspiracist who's who of who rules the world, right? So it's saying the list, the people that are attending this Bilderberg group, the names on that list are constantly surrounded with the stigma of being a leader, right? Or within the shadow government, or them ruling in the background, right? We got a protester here. Stop. Bilderberg equals criminals. This is a protester at a hotel where the 70th Bilderberg meeting is being held in Madrid, Spain, right? So I'll read a little bit of this article and I'll go on to the next a few articles I have. Let's see here. I'll just read. It says this year the Bilderberg summit, now underway in Madrid, turned 70 years old, but the controversial and secretive gathering of the world's elite shows no sign of slowing down. For Bilderberg's meeting where the rich and the powerful gather behind closed doors to talk about what ails the world has been the subject, understandably, of conspiracy theories. In recent years, Bilderberg has sought to remake itself and open up a little more Davos than Illuminati, right? And then it goes on to say what they're talking about. This is this devil, Kissinger, who passed away, I believe, this year. But they go on to say that how they want to use AI in warfare, right? Right, and I always quote this scripture, Isaiah the second chapter, Isaiah second chapter, and Micah the fourth chapter. which prove that the natural the original people that occupied the land of Israel are not in that land today, because the prophecy states once the original people return back to the land of Israel, there will be no more war anymore. But when you turn on the news, you still have meetings from the top leaders of the world, trying to see if they can get an advantage in war. Like war is still going on. It's been nonstop war since those 48ers came back into the land, right? It says many of these chiefs. I read this article, this paragraph. Many of these AI chiefs are tech optimists. Then it says the CEO, AI is sweeping conscious stars, but the condition of U.S. national security officials have flowed from Washington. Now, I was reading one paragraph here where it linked AI. Here it is. I'll read this. It says the founder of Anduril Industries is Palmer Luckey, the designer of the Oculus VR, who got bored of making headsets and wanted to build autonomous combat vehicles instead. So in 2017, he set up the defense contractor Anduril Industries with investment from Founders Fund, which is run by the venture capitalist and Bilderberg insider Peter Thiel. I believe this is him right here, Peter Thiel. It says another of Thiel's happy investments was Palantir, the AI surveillance giant run by Alex Karp, who is alongside his mentor Thiel on Bilderberg's committee. So he's probably, most likely, I believe he's going to be at this meeting, right? War is a fantastic opportunity for R&D, right, which stands for research and development. There are things that we can do on the battlefield that we can not do in a domestic context. Meanwhile, in Palestine, planter technology is being used by the IDF, right, which is the Israel Defense Force, in support of war-related missions. The onslaught has been excellent for the company's bottom line, right? So when we always say this through the Spirit, right? There are parties, there are people that benefit from war. This is an example of it. Plantar technology, right? They admitted it. They said they in support of war-related missions. It said the onslaught has been excelente, right? Excellent for the company's bottom line, meaning what? They're making money. Our products have been in great demand. You see? Mind you, he's from a tech company. He creates weapons, man. Okay? So when we say, oh, there are people that want war to continue, right? It's not something that's just being made up. Right? There are people out there that benefit from war, and this is one of them. Right? I immediately think of the movie Nicolas Cage, War. I forgot the movie, but he was an arms dealer, and he benefited from war. Okay, and when there was a ceasefire or a peace, that means for him he's not making any money, man. Okay. But let's go on to the next article, right? This is RT. It says North Korea conducts preemptive attack drills. You see, the exercise come as the U.S. and South Korea jointly hold war games in the region, right? And a few days ago, North Korea and South Korea, I think North Korea sent, look at this. They sent balloons over to South Korea, I think with shit in it or whatever. Yeah. North Korea sends fleet of garbage balloons to the south, you know. Kim Jong-un, this nigga just had some rice. But these are now I'm gonna get the scripture. Now whoever sees this should immediately think of, I'm sure your brothers and sisters, whatever, immediately I think of what? I think of Joel, the 2nd chapter. I'll get that in a minute. But it says, I'll read this. It says, North Korea conducts preemptive attack. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has overseen a military exercise aimed at demonstrating the country's power to carry out preemptive strikes, meaning they're going to attack first. On arrival, South Korea, state media reported Friday, as part of the drills, the military conducted several launches of large-scale artillery rockets. You see? It says the South Korean Armed Forces claimed on Thursday that Pyongyang had launched 10 short-range ballistic missiles from Sunan, traveling about 350 kilometers or 15 miles before falling into the Sea of Japan. Both a series of weapons tests by Pyongyang in joint U.S.-South Korean drills that test by Pyongyang and joint U.S.-South Korea drills contributed to the rising tension in the region. Earlier this week, South Korean Air Force announced that over 90 aircraft, including F-35 stealth fighters and U.S. A-10 aircraft, were taking part in maneuvers. So now you got South Korea and North Korea. They're doing war drills. All right, so more war. Right, going back to that scripture in Ezekiel, excuse me, getting excited. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter of it shall be like what time we're living in. We're not living in a time of peace. We're living what? In a time of war, right? Excuse me. Another article. This is from AP News. It says U.S. and allies clash with China and Russia over North Korea's launches and threats to use nukes. It says a North Korean military guard post. All right, so let me see. U.S. and allies clash with China and Russia over North Korea's launches and threats to use nukes. Right. So, oh, excuse me. Let me get the scripture. So I'm going back to these pictures. Let me get the scripture that reminded me of that picture right here. Joel. Right, Joel, the 2nd chapter. We go to the point. Right. I'll start at 5. I'll start at 4. It says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. As horsemen, as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained. All the faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one in his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they shall fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Okay? Go back to that article. Look at that. That's Joel. You know, that's a good picture of what that's going to look like. All in array together. You know, they're going to shoot over. All right, and hit its target. Okay? Now you had U.S. and his allies upset with China and Russia. Okay? Over North Korea's launches and threats to use nukes. So this is the time we're living in. We're living in a time of war, man. All right? And it's only going to escalate and get worse. I guess I'll read a little bit of this. The scene was an emergency upon open meeting. North Korea's failed launch of military reconnaissance on May 27th. United States and allies, South Korea and Japan, clashed with China and Russia Friday over North Korea's latest satellite and ballistic missile launches and threats to use nuclear weapons that have escalated tensions in Northeast Asia, right? Right. So you got a lot of countries there. A lot of countries, a lot of wars and rumors of wars. These are the things that we gotta look out for. Okay. All right. It's only gonna escalate from here. So I'll leave these articles in the description. Your brothers just could check it out. Lord willing, you were edified. Till the next show. Shalawam.